ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. The nectar of thy words revives the scorched spirit of human beings. They purify the sinner and are the life of the holy. To hear them itself is auspicious and peace generating. They are the real givers who spread thy name far and wide. Welcome to the Friday scripture class, and today's scripture is the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. As you might remember from our last Gospel class, we're continuing the conversation of Sri Ramakrishna in the chapter entitled Rules for Householders and Monks. Sri Ramakrishna is talking to Manilal Mallik, who was a rich man, and Sri Ramakrishna said that there are no pictures of gods and goddesses in his house, and Manilal says, I have many spiritual pictures, and he gave a list of those that are common with the Christian pictures, not the gods and goddesses of Sanatana Dharma, but whatever was common, going through the virtue and the duty and all those pictures that were common in the West. Those pictures they had kept, like the bridegroom, one of the bride in the waiting, the bridegroom, brides were sleeping, and one bride was sleeping, others were awake. So she will mix the bridegroom to come. That is, one who is not alert will miss the spiritual illumination. It may not come to that person if you are not alert and awake and keep vigil for your spiritual moment when it will come. You should be always prepared. Like Sabari, that we have the story. Every moment she was ready that Rama will come in her life. And she had to wait her, her whole life for the Rama to come. Every rustling of leaves, she would think, oh, Rama might have come. She was so alert all her life, and finally Rama came. Like there's some pictures were there, not connected with Rama, but that in the Bible stories, they were there. Uh, in the middle of the page, 403, in the beginning of spiritual life, Master is continuing, in the beginning of spiritual life, one goes by a roundabout way. One has to suffer a great deal, but the path becomes very easy when ecstatic love is awakened in the heart. It is like going over the paddy field after harvest is over. You may then walk in any direction. Before the harvest, you had to go along the winding bog, but now you can walk in any direction. There may be stubble in the field, but you will not be hurt by it if you walk with your shoes on. Just so, an aspirant does not suffer if he has discrimination, dispassion, and faith in the Guru's words. So, in the beginning, as in anything is so difficult, the spiritual life is also that way. To begin the spiritual life, it's hard work. Even getting up in the morning, trying to put the mind on the chosen ideal, and think and trying to make your life better, trying to conquer yourself, lust, anger, greed. Uh, all this is not easy when we try to do in the beginning. But as we progress in spiritual life by the power of God's name, so we it becomes easier. The changes come in us, and changes come quite fast after some time. It's like driving the car. When you start driving, it is in first gear and difficult, hard. Engine has to work hard. But when it starts moving, then the gear is in the fourth gear and so smooth. Like that is the spiritual life exactly that way, says Sri Ramakrishna. You have to work in the beginning, and after some time, changes come in you, and whatever transformation need to come in our life, they come by the grace of God, by the grace of Guru, says Sri Ramakrishna. And slowly, discrimination, dispassion uh, increases. Discrimination and discernment, viveka, dispassion is anasakti, detachment, viveka and vairagya. Both they come in life. We can find, understand what is spiritual, what is material, what is for my final good, and what is just my mind is taking me and dragging me towards the worldly enjoyment. So, and then comes detachment from the worldliness, and you you accept the spiritual path, which is uh, mm, which is for your good, which is for your peace of mind, and faith in the Guru's words. Guru's words or words of scripture is the same thing. Faith that spiritual life will give you whatever you have been seeking in your life, knowingly or unknowingly. We all seek peace and knowledge, and that is obtained only by following the scriptural injunctions as taught by Guru or Acharya. And when we get that, we find fulfillment in life, and we feel, yes, it was to be attained. This was this was the thing I was seeking, the unadulterated happiness, the undiluted joy and peace, and that can come only through our spiritual experience. That can happen. Little we have to work in the beginning. That is Sri Ramakrishna saying. Manilal to the master. Well, what is the role for concentration? What is the rule for concentration? Where should one concentrate? So Manilal, though he was a rich man, uh, but he coming to Sri Ramakrishna and some spiritual ideal he had. So now he wants to the lesson about how to meditate, where to concentrate the mind, and the rule for concentration of the mind. So actually, he is asking about the techniques for meditation. Master, the heart is a splendid place. One can meditate there or in the Sahasrara. These are rules for meditation given in the scriptures. But you may meditate wherever you like. Every place is filled with Brahman consciousness. Is there any place where it does not exist? Narayana, in Vali's presence, covered with two steps the heavens, the earth, and the interspaces. Is there then any place left uncovered by God? A dirty place is as holy as the bank of the Ganges. It is said that the whole creation is Virat, the universal form of God. So he gives the basic that God can be meditated on any place. There are the different regions of the heart and in the body where you can meditate. You can meditate on God outside your body because God is present everywhere. This meditation is not just thinking of God where God is not, but thinking of God where God is, and God is at every place. And he gives the example proven by the Vaman Avatara that symbolically said he comes to Bali and he says, I want 3 steps of land, 3 steps of space in your kingdom. And the whole kingdom was Bali's kingdom. Bali was Prahlada's son. And then he said, let's take 3 steps. So in one step, he covers the whole earth. All is gone. And we have now the idea of airspace, that you cannot cross the airspace of certain country without permission. You cannot go there. And that was there during that time also. In the second step, the Vamana Avatara, a small looking he was, he covers the whole space that was above the earth of Bali's kingdom. So all his earth and air space all were covered in 2 steps. So the story goes that then he asked, what about the third step? So now there was nothing third left. So Bali says the head is also considered to be the you own the head. So you please Lord, you put your foot on my head. So that is the space that also I offer to you. That I also offer my body and mind and ego to you. So the story is about occupying the land by Bhavana. um, but the thing is to prove, it is the proof that God covers everything. It is the concrete proof of what is said in Ishavasya Upanishad. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Everything in this world is covered by that ruler, by that Isha, by that Lord. Whatever is moving or unmoving, every at kincha, every bit of the existence is covered by Lord. And the Vamana story is about how he covered everything. It's not that he Vamana avatara covered. God already exists, it covers everything. That Vaman Avatara showed that to the people that God covers everything. So that is just to show that everything belonged to God. Bali was a great donor. He had become proud of his donation of his charity, that I do not return anyone whoever asked me anything, I give him. So that was his thing. It was a great charity, great purified heart, wonderful person was Bali. But with that, it had come, the ego had come in him that I am the greatest of donor. Nobody was there in the history of mankind who could donate everything that people wanted, whatever they wanted, he could give. And this, to break this ego or the pride of Bali, God comes out of compassion to just break his ego and says, can you give me 3 steps of land in your kingdom? And yes, he said, and he just 1 foot, he covered the whole earth, another covered whole sky, whole space. So to say that you are giving nothing yours, it is all already mine. So to just to prove that and to make the right knowledge to Wali, his devotee of God, Prahlada's son, so God comes, takes the form of this Vamana. In avatara, we often find, particularly in Krishna avatara and Rama avatara, that that is also out of compassion for the devotees. And but paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. I protect the good people and I destroy the evil ones, the wicked ones. That is there. The Krishna promises in the Gita. And he had to destroy and kill many asuras, Rama and Krishna both, and protect whatever whoever were good, like Vibhishana, like Pandavas, all he had to protect. But advent of God is always out of compassion. Whoever dies with God in God's hand, they are already gone to heaven. It may be Ravana or Kamsa or Shishupala, all whoever dies in God's hand, when your body dies in the God's hands, it is not death. It is emancipation. It is liberation of the soul from the body by the highest being, by the purest being. So it is totally an act of compassion. So here, Lord takes the Vamana avatara just out of compassion for his devotee Vali. So just to take away his ego. So wherever there is, sometimes says, oh, he was already proud because of he gave everything. Shukracharya was saying, oh, he's not the right person. You don't give. You don't. He's in disguise, some great person. You don't give that. Shukracharya was his teacher. He wanted to stop him. But God had come to protect and guide his devotee and to show to the world that nothing is yours, everything is God's. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Everything is covered with the Isha, is the Lord. So that what Sri Ramakrishna brings, that story that you can meditate on any place. Saying this, he also says that in body, if you want to meditate in your own body, 2 places are there mostly meditated upon. One is head. There is 1,000 petal lotus, this mystic lotus in the head called Sahasrara, thousands. And one is the heart. In heart chakra there is 16 petal lotus. But the teacher may say there are different. In Uddhava Gita, it is said there is 8 petal lotus you should meditate upon. We'll come to that portion in the Uddhava Gita. That there is 8 petal lotus in the heart region, you should meditate on that. Your Ishta should meditate upon that. So many teachers, whatever the teacher says, how to meditate, your guru says you should meditate that way. And here Sri Ramakrishna says you should meditate at heart, and heart is a splendid place. In Bengali Kathamrita original, he says, Hriday to donka mara jayega. Danka mara. Often say, what is danka mara jayega? Danka is not dungson by some scorpion. Danka mara is like beating the drum. It is the drum beaten place is heart. Why drum beaten place? It's well known. Earlier time, they used to beat the drum and announce some royal message. Used to be announced to all without hiding. It's not secret to anyone. Everybody would know. They were dum 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 dum, and that is the message that king has said. Now it will be given free, or you have to give so much tax, or king will be visiting this place. Like that, they used to announce with beating the drum so that all villagers could listen that. And then, oh, some royal message is coming. So that is called Danka Mara. And that, like that, everybody, if everybody knows that, it is known to everyone. That's why it is said the heart is a splendid place. So it didn't say Danka Mara, but everybody knows that heart is a splendid place. It is to meditate. So you should meditate in your heart upon your Ishta or chosen ideal. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says about the place where he can meditate. Because he asked, no, the question is, where should one concentrate? To concentrate in the heart area of the heart, that some Ishta is sitting inside, or light is there inside, or all purity and freedom from all suffering, all worldliness is there. Something pure soul is sitting. To meditate on your own soul or meditate on God in your heart, the God or divine meditation on the divine is that is totally free from blemish of the world. Um, there is no competition, there is no weakness, there is no any blemish. So that is the science with the purity, with divinity, and that is our own Atman. Or you can imagine Atman as the light, Atman as your chosen deity, like Rama, Krishna, Durga, Jesus, whatever you like the form of God. All those are your own Atman taking that form, and meditate at the heart. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna says. He gives the clue. Let us continue what he said. There are two kinds of meditation, one on the formless God and the other on God with form. But meditation on the formless God is extremely difficult. In that meditation, you must wipe out all that you see or hear. You contemplate only the nature of your inner self, meditating on his inner self. Shiva dances about. He exclaims, "What am I? What am I?" This is called the Shiva Yoga. While practicing this form of meditation, one directs one's look to the forehead. It is meditation on the nature of one's inner self. After negating the world, following the Vedantic method of neti neti. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, he said, how to meditate? He answers that question. Exactly like your style of Viveka Chudamani. The student asked 7 questions, and the teacher asked one by one, maybe not in the same sequence as the student had asked. So here also he answered the second part of the question of Mani Malik first, and now answering the first part of Mani Malik's question, how to concentrate. In that he says you can meditate on God in 2 ways: meditation on formless aspect of God or God with form. And he says meditation on the formless aspect of God called Shiva Yoga is extremely difficult because you cannot think of anything worldly. Can you think something that is not worldly, that doesn't belong to the world? It is extremely difficult, that's why it says. Sri Krishna was also asked the same question by Arjuna. And Sri Krishna says, Avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavad viravapyate. So, for one who has the body consciousness or body identification, for him or her, this avyakta, unmanifest, meditation on unmanifest is extremely difficult. It is painful, says Sri Krishna. Yes, Sri Ramakrishna says it is difficult. You have to transcend the idea that your body belongs to you or mind is yours. Have you grown to that capacity that you can go beyond the idea of body and mind? Only you can then meditate on the formless aspect of God. What am I? To your true nature that is not connected with the body, not connected with the mind, pure consciousness, pure supreme bliss. That light, you have to meditate upon that. And he said it is Shiva Yoga. Shiva meditates on the formless aspect of God, formless aspect of himself. And in that meditation, he sometimes dances, he says, while practicing this form of meditation. Okay. Shiva dances about on his inner self. That's Shiva meditate on his inner self. So where we have the contact with the inner self, that's why for us meditation on the concrete form of God, which is our self, which is also self, inner self, but meditating outside, concretized outside. When you say Sri Ramakrishna or Sri Krishna or Shiva, that they are nothing other than your own true self. They are your own true self, but given concrete form and concrete qualities and divine lila they had. So you meditate on that form. It's much easier for common people, says Sri Ramakrishna. But to Mani Malik, he gives more detail about both types of meditation. Meditation on the formless aspect of God, Shiva Yoga, and meditation on God with form. Let us go further. There is another form of meditation known as Vishnu Yoga. The eyes are fixed on the tip of the nose. Half the look is directed inward and the other half outward. This is how one meditates on God with form. Sometimes Shiva meditates on God with form and dances. At that time, he exclaims, Rama, Rama, and dances about. So sometimes he meditates on his inner self, sometimes he meditates on Rama, and he dances. As it is said in the Gita also about meditation, Sampreksha Nasika Gramsam Dishascha Navalokayam. Like that, don't look at any quarters anywhere and fix your eyes on the tip of your nose and see half outside, half inside. Don't close your eyes, you may fall asleep. Don't look all, then you see everything in the world and no God will be seen. So half closed eyes and looking at the tip of the nose. For person who has big nose, meditating on tip of the nose is easy. But suppose some a very small nose, for them it will be really difficult to put the eyes on the nose tip. But that's how it is said. They were all like big nose people, Krishna and all that. So he taught that at the tip of the nose. So anywhere you can look half and try to meditate on the divine form. So like that, Sri Ramakrishna says one is called Shiva Yoga, meditation on the formless God, and another is Vishnu Yoga, meditation on the God with form. That's how Vishnu is all about bhakti, Shiva is all about jnana. But there is no difference as far as their spirituality is concerned. So people are of different types. Some are interested in knowledge aspect, and I want to know the real self. I want to negate what is not true self. Neti, neti, they go on, this is not God, this is not God. Another says, iti, iti, this is God. It begin with the form of God, with the small statue, small picture, whatever is there. And there they try to put all their, the God has become this. And no one is incorrect when the one who negates God, negates the form of this world. For him, the God is all pervading consciousness, and whatever appears is a material world. For those who meditate on God with form, for them everything is that divine being, has become this world. It has been created out of God. So For them, they want to see Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. That is more about the bhakti. You see, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. And in the Upanishad, that is said, Tena Tyaktena Bhunjita. When you have known that everything is God, covered by God, associated with divine, with that renunciation, then we enjoy the world. In bhakti, you enjoy your life, your world. How do you enjoy? Knowing that everything is divine, everything is dear. When it becomes divine, means it is dear, it is holy, it is something you can relate to. So consider everything that you perceive, you see, is all beautiful, divine, and all joyful. So everything you enjoy as the manifestation of the divine. So that is the bhakti, path of bhakti. And in Jnana Marga, you focus on that ultimate formless aspect of reality, which is Satchidananda Swarupa. And whatever you see in the world, you don't go and consider that as the divine. You see it as material, different from the divine. You see all the material has it is ever changing, and it is beset with all the you know, all your impurities. It is not all that blissful. You cannot see that. You focus with a sharp intellect. You try to focus on the reality, witness consciousness. That reality is consciousness, all pervading everywhere, but not really the world. It is very subtly it pervades the world. And you want to see that pervading principle, not that principle that has manifested itself as this world. So that is the difference. Otherwise, Shiva Yoga and Vishnu Yoga lead us to same goal. Whichever path we follow, it will lead us to the same goal. Both will give us immense joy of this life when you try to be connected with the divine as the inner soul, inner being. That is also fine. Or divine, you want to connect the divine with a beautiful form, wonderful life. That is also very blissful. And both lead us to the same goal of spiritual enlightenment. That's what Sri Ram, and they started the sect. How can God be with form? God has to be without form. So even Ishavasya, and they were Brahmo Samaj, and they took that Ishavasya Vidam Sarvam as the very basis of their philosophy of their spiritual practice. And yet they found it was so much of bhakti there in Ishavasya, and they said that everything is Isha only. There's nothing material. So give up this material. Tena tyaktena bhunjita. Give up. Tyaga means giving up. And then you enjoy. Only when you give up everything, then you will enjoy. That type of interpretation when you want to say this world, reality is only formless. When there is bhakti interpretation with Ishavasyam, then God has covered everything that we see, whatever is moving or unmoving. Tena tektena, by that renunciation. What is that renunciation? This knowledge itself is the renunciation that everything is divine. Whatever I see is divine. Whatever I touch is divine. So by that renunciation of not seeing God, not seeing divine in the world, you have started that ignorant vision of seeing God, seeing the world devoid of God, seeing the creation devoid of Creator. That ignorance is renounced, and everything in the creation is perceived as covered, beset with the divine. And then you realize God. Then you enjoy every spiritual uh, your illumination or spiritual enlightenment is so joyful. Whenever you bring God, you connect yourself to the divine, there is joy. Real joy is that. That's why it said, Tena tektena bhunjita ma gridha kasya svidhanam. There is no any other wealth. You don't have to covet any other wealth. All is divine. There is nothing to wealth. No greater wealth than seeing divine in everything. That is the highest wealth, that God is there in everything. This knowledge is the highest wealth. Don't covet anything else. Anything worldly, don't have greed for anything worldly. That will not give you joy. Only this knowledge that everything is associated with the divine, whatever you perceive is divine, whoever you see are your friends, are your own people, are the children of same God, are the manifestation of same God as you are the manifestation. Everyone is the same manifestation of same divine. When you reach that knowledge, then comes renunciation. That itself is renunciation. And then comes joy. When that joy comes, seeing everyone as God, everyone so joyful, every being becomes your chosen ideal's form, then you enjoy that. What else will you enjoy? What else you will covet? What else you will want to possess? That is what is the meaning of Ishavasyam. Sri Ramakrishna, that's why it said. Shiva also has the meditation on the concrete form. And when he meditates on God with form, he exclaims, he again dances there, saying Rama, Rama. They say Rama is the Ishta of Shiva, and Shiva is the Ishta of Rama. Both are manifestations, full manifestations of God, Shiva and Rama. Shiva is called Nitya Lila, Nitya Avatara. Rama is called Manav Avatara. Shiva takes the human form, but is not born like Rama. Rama is born, he grows old, and then after some time, he does the Nara Lila, and then his body goes, he dies. But his body dies. But Shiva is not born and he also doesn't die. He just manifests, he's just seen by the devotees. And then he merges again after revealing, talking, whatever is there. So where does he merge? Where does he go? But they say there, Shiva is there at one place all the time. And that is called Kailasa, where Shiva dwells. That Kailasa that we have a mountain in China, in Tibet, and the people go there as the abode of Shiva. There's no temple there. Just the mountain itself is the symbol of Shiva. It is the symbol of Shiva. Shiva can won't stay there at the top of Kailasa. Nothing is there. So, but that is the symbol. What is Kailasa or Vaikuntha is the awareness when Shiva manifests in our awareness. That becomes Kailasa. Kailasa is that purity of mind where Shiva always resides. As they say, Vrindavan is a place where Krishna dwells. So Vrindavan is one that we go in India, in UP. Krishna did all Leela, Nara Leela there, and that is one Vrindavan. But there is other Vrindavan. That is Hridaya Vrindavan, Hriti Vrindavan. And there Krishna dances. If you think of Krishna in your heart, that becomes Vrindavan. Wherever you find Krishna, that becomes Vrindavan. For Agormani Devi or Gopal's mother, where she lived, that is Aryadaha. That itself was the Vrindavan. She saw Krishna there manifesting, playing with her. Baby Krishna coming, snatching her rosary and asking for food. That was Vrindavan for her. Wherever you see, that becomes Vrindavan. So goal is to make Hridi Vrindavan, to make our heart where God dwells. So when your heart is purified enough, it is Bethlehem, it is Nazareth, it is Vrindavan, it is Kailasa, it is Vaikuntha. Everything is your heart because God dwells there. So that is what the concept of Kailasa, where God dwells. Sri Ramakrishna then explained the sacred word Om and the true knowledge of Brahman and the state of mind after the attainment of Brahma Jnana. Let us hear that. Master Moshe, the M says in brief what Sri Ramakrishna said, and he explains because M used to meditate on what conversation went, and everything used to come in front of his eyes. So he remembered Sri Ramakrishna said that. Now the things come. Who spoke what Sri Ramakrishna said, everything like photographic memory coming to him. Sri Ramakrishna said this, and then he writes in detail. So after that, Sri Ramakrishna, what he says, Master, the sound Om is Brahman. The rishis and sages practiced austerity to realize that sound Brahman. After attaining perfection, one hears the sound of this eternal word rising spontaneously from the navel. This sound Om is called Anahata Dhvani, Anahata Shabda. All other sounds originate by striking something. If I strike table, then it will be sound. All sound, bell. When we talk, there is sound. That is also by striking something. I strike my vocal cord with the air, and the sound comes. Any sound that comes is something connects, something hits, then sound comes. The Om is the sound, which is the symbol of Brahman that comes without striking anything. That's why it's called Anahata Dhvani. Ahata means to hit, to strike. Anahata is without hitting, without striking. So Om is that. And Sri Ramakrishna says people, the sages can hear the Om coming in their body. It originates at navel and that comes through their body. It fills their body. They hear that sound, not like any other sound, just spiritual voice that comes to the people. There have been people who hear this Anahata sound, the symbol of God. And there was one Swami Shantanandaji, Holy Mother's disciple. He used to hear Anahata. People asked him, Swami, do you hear Anahata? Yes, don't you hear Anahata sound? It was so easy for him. It has become like his habit. Yes, you see, yes, I can hear now Anahata. So sound is to fill his being, his body with that Anahata Om sound. It's not just a sound. With the sound, it brings the awareness of spiritual current and the bliss that comes with it. It's not the sound we're hearing like tanpura or any other sound or piano. It is some sound which brings joy with it. It is because it is the sound and the name of God, Brahman. So it comes only after spiritual maturity to some people, some devotees. Not everyone listens to that. And Sri Ramakrishna says, Om is Shabda Brahman. Shabda Brahman is Brahman in the form of sound. In Bible, you will hear that in the beginning there was Word, and Word was with God, and Word was God. Three sentences. Shabda Brahman. God and the Word are same. That it didn't say about the Word. But in Hindu scriptures, in Vedanta, the Word is described. What was that word that was in the beginning there? And that is called Om. So in Gita also it is said Om iti ekaksharam Brahma. Om is monosyllable Brahma. Ekaksharam means monosyllable Om, one syllable, and it is Brahman. The Om is so holy. So it is God, shortest form of God, shortest name of God. Saying Om or Narayana or Rama is same. So Om, Rama, Narayana have their meaning in the concretized form of God. There is shape and form of God. Narayana 4 arms and all that. Rama with 2 arms and have that wielding bow. When you say Rama comes that, but when you say Om, then no form, just the Brahman, just that ultimate spiritual witness consciousness. That is the denoted by the word Om. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. What will you gain? Some sages ask. By merely hearing this sound. You hear the roar of the ocean from a distance. By following the roar, you can reach the ocean. As long as there is the roar, there must also be the ocean. By following the trail of Om, you attain Brahman, of which the word is the symbol. That Brahman has been described by the Vedas as the ultimate goal, but such vision is not possible as long as you are conscious of your ego. A man realizes Brahman only when he feels neither I nor you, neither one nor many. So, this is the test of realizing God. He doesn't feel neither I nor you, only that one without a second, that pervades everything. That is the sign of realizing that ultimate reality, which is the goal. And Om is the symbol of that reality, which often is described as being with capital B, some Purna, some Fullness is there. Purnamada Purnamidam. So fullness is there. And that fullness is called Brahman. That ultimate reality is called Brahman. It's not something, nothing there. It's not zero. It is not Shunyam. It is Purnam. And that Purnam is guided by Om. When you hear Om, then you feel like realizing that, which feels everything, which this whole creation of ours seems to be so attractive, joyful, but this whole creation rests on that formless reality, on that Om or the Brahman. From Brahman it comes, and in Brahman it exists, and in Brahman it again merges. So from formless coming the form and merging in the formless. An example giving is like the ocean and the waves. Waves are there. We find big waves, small waves, and waves come and they stay for some time. After that, waves merge. From where do they come? From the ocean, from the water of the ocean. Where do they stay when they are there? Where do they remain? In the water. And when they merge, where they are gone? They again merge in the water itself. Like that is Brahman. If we do not see the ocean, only waves are visible. So we will not understand from where it came. It comes, it goes. But where it goes, you don't know. Where it comes, you don't know. It is all covered. You don't have eyes to see that. Like that is this creation with form. It all has come from that formless reality is called Brahman and stays in the Brahman and merges in the Brahman. Again to come like the Brahman, just like the waves in the ocean. That is the philosophy of our creation and the cyclic nature of this creation. Now, this not when he feels neither I nor you, ego is totally gone. In that state, when I is not there, you also is not there. I and you merge. In fact, they say there are three things. So, three things: knower, known, and the knowledge. So, something you want to know, someone is knower, trying to know that. And then the process called knowledge. So, when all these three merge into one, nothing exists. When they all merge, neither there is known, nor the knower, nor the knowledge. So Triputi Loy, they say. It is like the creation. You beginning of the creation, sustaining of the creation, end of the creation. All they merge. There is neither creation nor non-creation. What is there? There is the ultimate reality which cannot be expressed through from which this many has come. Eko aham bahusyama. They say in the Upanishad, it is said, I am one, I want to be many, as if God alone exists, and being alone, he is now bored. So he wants to be many to enjoy. So this one becomes many. The creator becomes creation or the creator merges in the creation. So that type of thing, eko ham bahusyama. This is just to describe that this all this form and varieties have come from that ultimate reality, which is one. So one is also misnomer. There is not one, which is one without a second. There is no second thing. So there is neither one nor many. That is the ultimate. When there is no many, how can it be one? When you say one, there has to be to the reference, there has to be many. Otherwise, there is no one. Only one without many, there is no one. So there is neither one nor many, there is neither I nor you. That state is called the state of Brahma Jnana. And he gives the example how this the difficult subject Sri Ramakrishna is teaching. Think of the sun and 10 jars filled with water. He comes to wonderful explanation of the reality. The sun is reflected in each jar. At first, you see one real sun and 10 reflected ones. If you break 9 of the jars, there will remain only the real sun and the one reflection. Each jar represents a jiva. Following the reflection, one can find the real sun. Through the individual soul, one can reach the supreme soul. Through spiritual discipline, the individual soul can get the vision of the Supreme Soul. What remains when the last jar is broken cannot be described. This is how is our personality, our individuality. We are like the jars. And we say there is the soul. But what is that soul? That soul is the reflection of the real soul. It is not even the soul. It has no its independent existence. It exists because of the real ultimate reality, that the supreme soul. And it is a reflection of the supreme soul. That's why there is no change. Often people ask, oh, if there are so many souls and when then creation, what will happen if all souls take the body? Then there will be no. Why there are so many human population growth? If there is a limited number of souls, why this? There were 3 billion people, now there are more than 7 billion people. From where the souls came? So one explanation is other. Its soul, human soul is not different from animal soul. Soul is same. So they just change from animal soul. They have come to human soul. Some animals are being extinct. Dinosaurs are around extinct, and the soul of bacteria and soul of human beings same. So how many big bacteria will be there? So there is no problem if you count it as a so much number. But in reality, there is no counting of the soul because soul's counting is not the real soul. It is just a reflection. As many bodies, so many reflection. As many jar, so many reflection of sun. So when there is the reflection of the sun in the jar, that is the soul. Then you try to find the real sun. What am I? Comes that. What really am I? The question comes. And then when the jar is broken, one real sun and 10 reflected suns. Now suppose one jar broken. Now how many suns are there? 9 reflected suns and one real sun. Suppose 9 sun jars are broken. Now there is no water, no reflection. How many suns? One reflected sun, one true sun. Then last jar also broken. How many suns? One true sun. No, you cannot say that. You can know about that true sun only through the reflected sun. When there is no reflected sun, who will say how many sun? Nothing can be said. That there is only whatever is there, that is there. Only we can count when there is Jiva Bhava in us, when there is individualized soul is there. Only you can think of going to God and doing spiritual practice. And Sri Ramakrishna says, because there is the reflected sun, there is individual jar. That's why we call a ghat. Hmm? जो राम दशरथ का बेटा वही राम घट घट में लेटा तुलसीदास. The Rama who was the son of Dasaratha, that Rama lies in all ghats, in all jars. Where is the jar that Rama lies? Where is the ghat? Each individual body is ghat. So that Rama is lies or present, lives in the jar of every body. So that is ghat ghat pe leta. So that's what it is said. When last jar is broken, nothing is there. But when there is reflection, there is attempt to realize the real part. What am I? Question comes when there is this individualized ego. Ego is helpful if it takes us towards spiritual illumination, spiritual practice, or trying to become better person, or trying to remove all our weaknesses, our impurities of mind. Ego is very useful. That is called Paka Ami, the ripe ego, which tries to make us better person. And Kacha Ami, which is proud of appearance, money, degrees, wealth. Oh, they do not know who I am. Mm, I drive Mercedes, a BMW. I am such a rich person. Oh, that Honda Civic. Oh, what they know. And you take from beside her. Oh, you take that because you are driving a BMW. Hmm? So that is called unripe eye. That is pride. That is harmful. But when it is ripe eye, then you treat everyone equally. You don't consider anyone. Even if you drive, the person may drive BMW. If he has a ripe eye, he treats everyone as equal. Doesn't harm, doesn't show anything. Wealth doesn't show anything. Wealth is there for some time. After that, you die. What doesn't matter how much wealth you have. All is gone. So like that is a no nothing saying. And you have very big house, 2 stories, 6 bedroom, 4 washrooms. But you use one washroom, you use one bed to sleep, and what if you have a big house and shining nice red brick outside and metal roof? What is that to you? Whether it is shingles roof or metal roof doesn't matter. It should be just stop rains to enter, and you live and you sleep in one bed for one night. It is same for anyone. So the people may have that. If they have ripe eye, they are not proud of their wealth, their degree, their certificates. If you are proud of your degree, oh, I am PhD, I am double PhD. So that is also useless. There have been so many PhDs. So if you go to university or in the college, you just pat a person from your back and say, how much you have studied? You say, oh, I did PhD in physics. Another will say, I did PhD in that year. So many PhDs are there. So whatever job, for postdoctoral job, I am not getting any opening is not there. They are not getting job. So many PhDs are roaming. So your PhD is not worthless to, not worth to express, to have any proud of that. So the pride of learning, pride of your body, how you look, pride of wealth, this all falls like the balloon, little prick and all gone. So that makes you worse person. But pride of I am a human being, pride that I want to do good to someone, I want to love everyone, I want to evolve spiritually. That is also become a kind of ego. I want to transform myself. I want to be a better person. I want to love God. I want to have the vision of God in this life. I want to have real Vrindavan in my heart. Krishna should dance in my heart. Otherwise, what is the use of this life? So if you have that type of ego, wants Krishna to dance in your heart, that is right ego, good ego, beneficial ego. They say no, there are cholesterol, good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. Like that, there is good ego and bad ego. So Sri Ramakrishna often said that. Of the jar example is so beautiful. This jar's example is given more elaborately, not a jar, but two birds in the Upanishad, in Mundaka Upanishad, I think. So there are these two birds described beautifully. We'll read that later on. So, in that Upanishad, it is said there were two birds. Swami Vivekananda describes nicely, and one bird was eating fruits. Beautiful fruits were there in the tree, and but fruits were looking similar. Some were very sweet, exactly looking sweet. Other were very sour, bitter. So when he ate nice sweet, he was jumping. But sometimes he thought it would be good sweet. It was bitter and tasteful and very difficult. Then he was so worried with this suffering of the taste of the fruit. Then he looked here and there. He saw one bird is sitting at the top of the tree and she's eating nothing but very peaceful, calm, sitting nothing, doing nothing. And he's so peaceful after eating that. And slowly he thought and he started going on eating sometimes sweet fruit, sometimes bitter fruit, and then slowly started hopping up. And in that process, it is like the samsara. We eat sometimes pleasurable things, sometimes suffering we get in samsara. So whenever we have some suffering, then dukkhame sumirana sab kare. So in when you have pain, then you think of God. God, how can I get rid of this all pain and suffering? So you go towards evolve. And then that bird is also going up. Finally, he went closer to that peaceful bird, majestic, having wonderful plumage, and this bird always suffering and happy, pleasure and happy. When it goes near, to its surprise, he finds that the rays, beautiful rays from that, the top bird has come. Light emerges from that and engulfs this bird, the lower bird, which comes top. And then it finds that there is no this bird. There was no existence. All the way there was only the upper bird. Somehow he felt that I am the lower bird, who was thinking that I am this lower bird, suffering from the world and sometimes having little good. They're all thinking. There was no existence of that bird at all. There was no Jivatma, only Paramatma was there. And then Jivatma thought, I am there. So that is like the 10th jar, thinking I am sun, and reflected sun, and there is real sun. I have to find that real sun. So this beautiful example of sun and this bird, Dwa Suparna Sayuja Sakaya. So beautiful story that Swami Vivekananda relates that story very nicely. So thank you for attending today's scripture class, and we conclude today. Next Friday again we'll meet online and also in person. Um, then we close today's with the closing chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu Jananiim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmu. We bow down to Holy Mother and Sri Ramakrishna again and again. Oh. Good night to everyone.